Okay, cool. Hey, so this is going to be a slightly different video. My name's Jacob, and I've been doing a lot of devlogs lately. I've done some other type of uh, videos, like reading through RFCs and PEPs and source code and stuff like that. Today, I'm going to just basically be reading a lot about JavaScript, and so I'm not going to record myself studying basically, for a lot of that time. I'm going to try and study JavaScript for a bunch of hours today because my goal is to become, better, have better comprehension about how JavaScript works, be able to wield it better so that I can make better web apps. Um, but basically, um, as you can see up here, I did show you what what I've prepared to basically go through this process. And the way that I do studying is sort of strange. I like to basically time myself in little groups of like 45 to 50 minutes. So I'll do something like read source code or read documentation for like 45 to 50 minutes. Then I'll stop. Then I'll like go and maybe walk outside for a little bit, and then I'll mark down on some like Word document or notes document. I'll just put like, okay, I got an hour, and I like to just keep track of that, and I try and just do it as much as I can in a single day, just as like a sort of experiment. And so the things that I'm sort of planning on doing are reading through a bunch of MDN's JavaScript. I was doing this yesterday and I got a lot of reading done, but I'm going to try and keep going through this. And then I have a bunch of React like documentation here that I'd like to get through. I probably won't even get to it, even with like 7 or 8 hours of studying today, but it's there, ready to go through. The other thing I like to do is I have this website that I own and use that I basically upload. It's sort of like I upload source code that I clone from GitHub here, and so I go here and I have a lot of libraries that I'm going to try and read, and I have like this first one is babelcore/source. If you go to GitHub, and this is actually not the complete name. It's something like Babel/packages/babelcore/source. That's the directory that I loaded all the files here. And similarly, I did that for all of these different ones. So I'm going to be reading source code from Core.js internals, React Bootstrap CJS, React Router DOM, React Fixtures, React Scripts, Webpack Lib, and Babelcore source. And like I said, this is an app that I made a long time ago, and it's just to help me read through source code, and it keeps track of what I have read, which files I have read. And so if I click on this, it'll basically load a bunch of these different files, and I store these in S3. And then when I finish reading one of these, usually the way that I do it is I have this thing in the top corner, which is like an auto scroll, and I'll just put this on, and I'm just reading through a lot of this code. And one thing to note is that obviously I'm not understanding a lot of this code. This is just a style that I've kind of developed over time. That's sort of just like an exposure. I like to just expose myself to a lot of like real code that is out there. And so if I want to learn about JavaScript, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to download the real code, and I'm going to go through as much of it as I can. And obviously, while I'm going through it, I'm going to be confused and puzzled. I'm not going to understand exactly what's happening, but I'm going to get real exposure to stuff. And over time, that can be really good. I think by itself, it's sort of an incomplete, thing. But when you combine it with something like, reading documentation from MDN, like this stuff is going to take a long time to load because I'm using a screen darkener or the dark reader so that I have stuff in dark mode, and I'm also using a shit ton of tabs in the browser and whatnot. But yeah, so this is the plan for today, and I think I'm going to be doing this a lot in the future, and so I'm just going to kind of show you what I'm doing here, but then I'm going to start talking about how it feels, how, if I'm feeling like I'm learning from it, or because a lot of the time when I do these type of exercises, there's this feeling of like not really making any progress. And then after you do it for like a week or something, then it just sort of all slips into place. There are these discrete moments where it's just like, oh, okay, my comprehension is just like much clearer now. And again, I don't really have a precise goal. A lot of people, when they go about doing something, they're like, I want to build this, or I want to be able to do this, or I want to pass this exam. There are no exams to pass. I don't even know what apps I mean, I do have a lot of plans for apps that I'm going to build, but I don't really know what the actual aim of this is. This is what I would kind of call just like pure learning. There's no real predictive. I mean, the idea is that it's just going to help me do a whole lot of different things in the future. And I've done this a lot for stuff like Python, and I consider myself like way better at writing Python code than JavaScript code. So the bottleneck for a lot of my stuff nowadays is, since I make a lot of web apps, is like actually getting stuff in the React front end to work correctly. Like making the APIs and a bunch of the other stuff in the back end is much simpler for me. And like I said, that has a lot to do with how much I've invested in Python. So anyways, I may do another video at the end and append it to this one where I talk about how I feel, or I might just do a video tomorrow or like later on and talk about this. But this is basically the process I'm going to go through, and I'm going to be doing it, as much as I feel like doing it, probably like every day or every other day for a couple weeks potentially, until I really feel like I've made progress. So anyways, yeah, I guess that's it for this first chunk. I might add something to it, but check out my blog. I guess this is wrapping up to be like, I might not add a chunk because a lot of the time you get tired and you don't even want to record something, but we'll see. So yeah, but check out my blog, I guess, and post a comment about this process or about other things you might want to see or questions you have, any feedback, So thanks for watching.